Hello and welcome to Adobe Live. I'm so excited to be here with Lucy Street, who I just finally got to meet for the first time today. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I am Jordan Danae Ellis. I'm an Adobe Express evangelist in the US. And Lucy, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I am the Adobe Express evangelist. I'm based in Cardiff in the UK, so I had a slightly shorter trip here than you did. So yeah.
Yeah, and so we both love Express and love talking about it. And that's what we're going to do a little bit of today. But I am going to be hanging out with chat, answering any questions, especially if you have questions about Express or your girls. But what are we making today?
So today we're creating some social media content.
Cool.
We are a workout brand, a immersive workout app. So we're channeling the Miami beach vibes today.
This is amazing.
So
great.
Yeah. So this is actually our client's brand. So I have created my designs in Illustrator. So that's where I like to create them.
Yeah.
But when I work with clients, it's great to create in Illustrator, but then when it comes to them wanting to update any assets, if they want to change the images or any of the text, sometimes that's a bit of a struggle if they're not designers themselves, if they're not used to Illustrator. So that's where Express comes in handy. So what we can do is from the homepage, we can start from your content.
Yeah.
It opens up my files. You can see we have some of our brand assets here. And then at the bottom, I'm just going to drop in our social templates. So this is an Adobe Illustrator file. If I swap over to Illustrator, you can see the kind of vibes that we're going for here.
This is so cute.
So you can see we have all the layers, all the good stuff. So what Express is doing now, it is reading our Illustrator file, it's noticing all the shapes, all the text that we have, and now it is ready to open. So we can just open that up.
That's so cool that you can, especially if you prefer designing in Illustrator, if you know it better, you don't have to learn a new product to use the cool features in Express. You can drag your stuff in.
So you can see it's opening up now, the background image is loading. So all of our layers are on the right-hand side. I can just group these. So what I love about Express as well is that all of the keyboard shortcuts that you're used to on Illustrator or Photoshop, we can use on Express. So I just use Command G to group these objects together, and now they're ready to go. So first thing I want to do is I want to swap out this background image. So we can go over to media along the left hand side. Now I could upload from my device, or I can choose from the, and I remembered this number, 248 million photos we can access straight from Adobe Express, the Adobe stock images. But I'm going to do text to image. And I'm going to select, so we can select square, landscape, portrait or widescreen. I'm going to select portrait, and I'm just going to pop in the prompt. So we've got a beach at sunrise with a graffiti wall pastel color palette. And then I'm going to select photo. And then we have these styles here, and it's a bit of a running joke that I always generate everything out of yarn.
Okay,
so we're not going to do that today because we're staying on brand.
That's not totally fitting, but okay.
So we're just going to generate a photo and see what it comes up with. But I love to use this if my client doesn't have brand images. It's great to generate stuff to use instead, or even if you're just making up a concept, you can just generate something super quickly and use that, and then you can go into the brand photo shoot knowing the kind of vibe that you're going for.
Yeah, that's super cool.
We have this generation. What do we think?
I like it. Those 4 options are pretty great too.
So yeah, so it's generated 4 options for us.
I like that one.
I love the color palette. I love how the graffiti makes it a little bit edgy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Should we go for this one, or should we load? We can load more. If we're not happy with any of them,
these colors are good.
Aren't they?
Did you say at sunset? I forget what your prompt was.
Yeah, so the prompt was at sunrise with a pastel color palette as well. So I only actually noticed recently that you can actually include the color palette into your prompt, and that works as well.
That's great. Okay, I actually kind of like the second round more.
That one?
Yeah.
Ooh, that one.
Or that. Oh man, that's a tough choice. I'll let you pick. You're deciding.
This one? I'm tempted either this one or this one.
Your favorite.
Let's go for this one. I like how it draws you in. So we can click off that. And if I go back in, so the picture is now dropped onto our artboard, so we can go in, add any text or elements, anything that we want. Or if I select on the layer again, we have generative fill, remove background. We can even go into text to image and we can alter our prompt. So I'm actually going to do generative fill. Now, can we ask the chat, what should we generate in the sky?
Yeah, friends, what do you want to see?
Anyone's watching?
I don't know what our delay is like, so we'll see.
We can change up the...
My favorite thing when I first started using generative fill is I would do like a flock of birds and then I would do a flock of bats and make it so spooky.
Oh.
We should not probably do that here. But,
that's what I just did in my session, generated a flock of birds. But what we could do is we could do a UFO.
Yeah.
This is always fun. You can just swap out the vibe. That's what's fun about
I mean, yeah.
But it is a design process in itself, isn't it? Generating. Like sometimes I kind of know what I want to generate, but I can't necessarily put it into words. So what I can do is if you start small and then it's just a process. Paul is jumping in the background, putting us off. It's a process. So, you know, you can start with something very vague and then build it up as you go. And one tip for prompting that I find really useful is if you start small, start with the object and work out. So you could do like an iPad on the desk in the countryside with bats in the sky, with a UFO in the sky, and you can build it out from there. That's one way I like to think about it. So otherwise, if I've got this image in my head and I'm trying to describe it all at once, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
So if you think, start small
and you can build
work your way
to
out.
make sure you like it. That's such a good way to do it.
So we have a UFO. Do we want to stick with this UFO?
We have the idea of dragons.
A
also.
dragon. Would that work?
2 separate dragons, so that's the winner.
Oh, I was on, I flew to Munich last week and I was on Adobe Live. So have you seen my bagel brand floating around? Yeah. So I was showing the bagel brand and I was asking the chat what to generate. And someone said a plain bagel.
Well.
Which tickled me, that got to me.
I love that.
What are we generating? A dragon?
A dragon, yeah. This is going to be great.
It's always interesting. So it uses, basically it works off of Adobe stock, am I right?
Yeah.
So whatever's in Adobe stock, we can generate. So it's good to know that you can feel free to use these images wherever you want on your campaign. You can post them, you can use them. Okay, oh, is that a dragon? That is a dragon, or is that a bat?
This is a bat dragon. Wait.
A dragon.
Look at the bottom one.
Oh,
that one's like about to land.
That looks like Spyro.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I used to love Spyro as a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, we're keeping that.
I like that. And it like matches the color palette.
It
this
does.
Is great.
That's what I love. So it can read our artboard and then takes the, you know, the context and the color palette, which is great. Oh, it makes me want to play Spyro now. So I think we're going to keep this and we're going to select done. So this is, of course, we are creating the social media post. So it's generated our image, and then over to the right-hand side, we have our layer panel. So I'm just going to drag our little dragon. Do we have a name for the dragon? Ask the chat if we can have a name for the dragon. So I would go for Spyro, but we have a Spyro already.
Hey, let us know.
So let us know. So
now, in the chat, I feel like he'll have a good dragon name, but let's see.
Yeah. So we have our blue background. So now I'm not really loving the color of this blue anymore. So what I can actually do is I can select into our group and you see we have shape. So what Express has done is recognize that we have a shape from Illustrator, and when we moved it over, it is a shape in Express as well. So we can go in and we can change the fill. And now this is our brand colors. So I uploaded our brand previously so it can stay on track.
So much.
Because I'm the kind of person, I so easily go off track and I need my blinkers on, especially when I work with clients. Sometimes like I work so hard to create the brand and then 2 weeks later they post to social media and of course they've used different colors, different fonts. So it's nice to have our brand there. Keep my blinkers on, can't go anywhere else but to the brand. Now, should we add a little bit of text, a little bit of animation, do you think?
Yes, and we have some dragon names. We have Draco, we have Maxina. We have Mo Beast, which is my personal favorite. Spike, Stinky, Sketchy, Sparky. Wow, we got a lot.
We should generate a family. It's like the reindeers. What were the reindeers' names? Like Rudolph? Yeah. Thumper? No, it's not. That's a rabbit. Anyway. So we're going to add some text. So I want to create a little animation. That is like my vision, a little spinning animation.
Cool.
So to announce that our app was just launched. So we go, if I type in out now, twice. And then on the left-hand side, we can see we have all of our different text settings. Now, if you use Illustrator, Photoshop, these will look very familiar. So on the first one, if we select that, we can also at the bottom go down to more fonts. Now, this is where we have access to 25,000
Look at you knowing all these
Adobe
numbers.
fonts.
I love that.
I know, I memorized them especially for today.
Good job.
So we can go in and select any of these. Now, there's two things I'm a sucker for, and that's a bold font and a bit of texture. So we're adding my lovely font now.
Great.
We
Love
can
it.
come back to the texture. But if I go back, you can see at the very top we have our brand fonts. Again, with my blinkers, I can't select anything else, and I'm just going to select our brand font, which is great. Now, under text layout, we can have default, which is the default.
Yep.
Dynamic, which will fill the text box. Circle, arch, or bow. So I'm actually going to go for circle. And then we can just drag him
I
down.
always sleep on circle. That's
using,
such a good.
Yeah, this is so fun. So if I zoom in a little bit here, we can see what we're working on. So along the
Yeah, I
top
love
toolbar,
that.
I can just align it, snap it straight to the center to make sure it's on point. Now,
I love watching other people use Express because I forget about all these buttons. I'm like, oh yeah, a line's right there.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me. That's great.
I know, and I love to see how people do things because I think if you gave like the same like brief to everyone,
Yeah.
everyone would do things slightly differently. So it's really fun to see.
cool,
Yeah. So I'm going to duplicate this again with my keyboard shortcuts. I'm going to select Option and just drag him out. Duplicates it very easily. So now with this one, I'm going to go over to the sidebar, and you can see we have fill and outline, and I'm just going to hit these buttons in between, and that will just swap them out. And now I want the top layer to have the outline, but to have no fill.
Okay.
So I'm going to go into fill and just select this one with the red line, no fill. And then we're going to overlap them.
This was the trick. I was waiting to see how you
And we're
did
just
it.
going to make sure, yeah, so that's centered.
All right.
So now this bottom layer, which is the one with the fill, we're going to drag this behind our graphic. So we have this little effect here now. That looks really funky. But what I want to do is I want to make sure these are spinning. I'm actually going to go back in and reduce this outline thickness very slightly so we can see.
Okay,
That
okay.
looks a bit better. So now I want to make these spinning. So what do? Go over to the left-hand side and we can actually add an animation. So this is where we can add in, looping, or out. So I'm going to add a looping. And then we have all of these funky little options.
Yeah.
We can have bobbing, we can have breathe, we can have yo-yo.
The animations are so interesting too because depending on what you're clicking on,
Yeah.
it's wildly different. Like
Yeah.
some of these look great with certain
Yeah,
options, and some of them you're like, oh, that's wild.
yeah. I know the bob is so funny in like to make like a C. Was that from Max from last year? I noticed that that's sick. But we're gonna go to spin.
I love the spin, especially when you can slow it down.
Yeah, so we can change the personality. Now, I didn't actually know that animations could have personalities, but they can. So we can have soft, smooth, strong, energetic, and loud. We can change up the intensity, so we can have him spinning like crazy. Or we can just bring it down to maybe 10. You can have it spinning nicely, but we don't want to freak people out. And then you can change the direction, keep it clockwise. And then what I'm going to do is just apply the exact same animation settings to our bottom layer as our top layer. So again, looping, spin, and crank this up just to 10. And then you can see that now we've added the animation. This is now changed from a static post to now a video.
Yeah.
So if I hit play,
That looks
we
cool.
have this fun little effect.
Yes.
It's so fun. I love the effect that it creates.
I love that.
Isn't it so cool?
And someone asked in the chat, is this a tool for hobbyists? It's a tool for anyone who wants to make things quickly. So like as Lucy pulled in an Illustrator file, you can be a professional designer and just want to add in animations, or you can start from never having designed anything ever before. Like
Yeah.
I started using Express that way. So it's really for whoever.
Yeah.
Which is why I love it.
And I love the tools that we have there. You've got like the essential ones, but we're not crowded with all
Yeah.
of the extra buttons that maybe Illustrator and Photoshop, when you open them up, is a bit like, oh my God, this is a lot. So we can actually, you know, you have a bit of a condensed version. So if you are new to design, you can get started very happily on Express and then maybe work your way up, you know, get familiar with Express and how the buttons work, and then work your way up to then maybe you want to try out Illustrator or Photoshop and, you know, use it as a really starter program.
Totally.
But I'm just going to add a little animation to this beat just to add in, maybe I want to do breathe.
That's
and I'm
one of
going
my
to
favorites.
reduce the speed and the intensity, have a really
Yeah.
nice smooth. As we know, with social media, we have, 2 seconds to
Right,
grab their
right.
attention. Otherwise, they're gone for good. So if we play this.
That's cute.
Cute, yeah.
Yes.
One last thing I want to do, because I've got my big bold fonts, and now I want to add a texture. So on the left-hand side, I can go to Media, and then I'm just going to search for, under Photos, I'm going to search for Texture Overlay. And these textures make my heart happy because there's so many different options. And I'm going to select this one and just drop him on. And then we can turn him around, fit him on the artboard like so. And obviously that looks rubbish, but we can drop him down. And that still looks rubbish, but we have our blend modes on the left-hand side in our settings here. So we can have it normal, which it is now. It's obviously not blending. Multiply, or if I hit screen, then it gives us this lovely effect. We can see the light coming in.
Such a fun way to do
Yeah, and if we play, we can have a, we can see how that works with the texture and the dragon. That looks so cute. That looks so fun.
that. I love that.
And then we can go to, oh God, we can go to share. Now, I think we're ready to post this on social media.
Let's do it.
Actually, do we have time to translate it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So we don't think small. This is Adobe Live. We think big. So this is a multinational business. So I actually want to translate this because this is going to go out to people all over the world. So it's detected the language as English, which is right. And then I can pick from any of these different languages. So we can go for Japanese, we can go for any of the Spanish, and one thing about me, so I'm obviously Welsh, so this little goodie for me that I love is that we can have Welsh and I can translate it to Welsh, which makes me happy. I can duplicate this and translate, and what it's doing, it's reading my text and it has duplicated it in all of these different languages, which is so great because before you'd have to go over to Google Translate.
Yeah, copy it over, reformat.
And you can see we have this. And also it's copied over the exact same animations that we made.
That's the cool part.
It's all here, so it's perfect. Right, do you think we're ready to schedule this out?
Yeah, let's
Is
do
this
it.
ready to post? I think so. So we can go over to share. Now this is where we can add in our clients or our co-workers or whoever we want, but today we're going to schedule the post. And so this social media scheduler is completely free, is that right?
Yep.
And we can add in our Instagram, X, Pinterest, TikTok, all of these different accounts.
That
so today,
is one of my favorite things,
Yeah.
that it is free. So if
Yeah.
you want to just try it out, you absolutely can, which is awesome.
yes, it's perfect. And then we can add up to 3 accounts. So if you're managing multiple accounts, or if yourself, you have your personal or your business account,
Exactly.
you can add them all in and manage different accounts, which is so great. So we can post it as a normal post, a reel, or a story. But this is one thing that is a godsend for me because
Me too, man.
as a business owner and, you know, juggling social media plus client work, it's
Yeah.
crazy. And, you know, social media can be a full-time job in itself. So sometimes like creating the concept, creating the actual post, and then I get to the caption and I'm like, you know what, I'm
done.
I'm
did
tapping
so
out.
much
The
already.
creativity
Yeah,
is done.
Yeah.
So this is where we have we can generate a caption now. So if I put in maybe tips for, maybe not capitals, we won't shout
We can
at it.
scream
We
at
can
it.
be polite. We can be polite. Tips for running, because remember we are a workout app. So if I just type in tips for running, I can generate and then generate a new caption. And what it will do so kindly for us, it will write us our own caption We have steps, we have hashtags, we have everything. So we can insert that in. And now maybe this bit, maybe this section is a little bit too brief. Maybe I want to bulk it out a little bit. Yeah. So what I can do is I can highlight this section. We can go back to generate and we can actually lengthen this. So it's just taken that one paragraph and it's going to rewrite it for us. And look at that. Oh my God. And just insert that in. And we have our caption with hashtags and everything. And now you can go in and edit this as much as you want, or we can just post it straight away.
That's how I love using it, is getting like a base and then I'll edit it to my brand voice or my own voice. Yeah. It's so nice to just have something to start with. Yeah. Because the blank page is scary, even for captions.
I feel like I have two modes. Either I can go in and I can just write out a caption and it'll be great, or I get to this point and I'm like, you know what?
Well, guess I give up.
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm like, oh, we're done. So even like, if you want hints or even, you know, just want like tips for running, you can see what it actually gives you, and then you can just expand on that. So I think I'm happy with this caption. And now let's preview it, see what that's a beefy caption. It's even got the emoji in there for us.
Yeah, there you go.
Emojis and all, and hashtags. You honestly don't need to do anything. And then you can see how that would look on the timeline.
I really like the preview also, because sometimes I forget how the different channels work, and it's like, okay, this actually isn't great for this, or I need to rework it or reformat it.
So this is cool. So if I X off this, and then we can either schedule it or publish it now. So I'm going to schedule it. But maybe, should we go for next Monday?
Next week, yeah, perfect.
I'm going to put it for 2 p.m. because all of my posts go out at 2 p.m. I don't know where this arbitrary number has come from. I think somewhere...
If it works for you, then keep it,
Somewhere along the line, my analytics probably told me to post at 2 p.m. And now I've just stuck to it. Even if it's like 2:30, I'm like, the time is gone. I can no longer post it. Literally. So the amount of times I've forgotten, but now I can just schedule it for 2 p.m.
There you go.
Schedule it away. Happy days. Out of sight, out of mind. And then if we go back to the home page, on the left hand side we have schedule, and then this is where our calendar lives. Happy. And what we can do is we can scoot things around. Life happens, timelines change, we can go in, change up the caption, all of the good stuff, and you're ready to go. And now actually we have mobile, so I can also do all of this on mobile, or whilst I'm on the go, I can change up any of the caption or anything. And life is good with Express.
What a great finale. Life is good with Express. I don't really see any questions in the chat. So if you have any, if you're watching later, feel free to message either Lucy or I. Where can people find you if they want to chat?
On Instagram, Loogie Design is my @
Perfect. And I am at Jordan Danae Ellis, and we are available for all of your Adobe Express needs. So
please ask us.
Yeah. Thanks for showing me your tips and tricks. Like a lot of the stuff, I know Express pretty well, but it's always nice to see how people do it differently. So you have some really fun new ways to use it, which I love.
Yeah. My pleasure. Well, thanks guys.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you all so much for watching.
Bye.